Yo, what's up, y'all? We out here once again. It's the Buff Missionary, trying to get 3 degrees buffer in these streets. You know how we roll. You know how we do. Like, subscribe, share, and gonna share just a little bit about last night. So this week at Andrews was Missions Emphasis Week. Pretty cool, and had a lot of people that I know who were speaking throughout the week. Unfortunately, because of work, different things, I couldn't get out there every single day. But last night, I was able to get out there for the Vespers program, and my guy Josh Ramirez. Man, he brought the word. It was an awesome experience. And so I'm going to share a little bit about kind of what he talked about. And afterwards, with the Mission Afterglow event that we had kind of connected with that. So first off, I want to say, I like that we have these mission emphasis weeks at Andrews. But I do feel like, man, with Andrews being called Andrews, it would be really cool to have these things more often. And I know the school has other things that they want to do, but I was talking with one of my friends while I was at the Afterglow thing about how missions sometimes feels like something else that Andrews does, like a small part of what the school does, as opposed to something that is widely spread, widely acknowledged that, hey, this is what we do and this is how we get down. But anyways, me and Josh, we were in Palau together 17, 18, my second to last year. Yeah, I think that's right. And he taught Bible. He taught the first couple levels of Bible. I taught the last two. And it was really cool getting to know him that year. One of the homies, he was one of my housemates as well. Real good dude. And, he shared a lot about his experience. I'm going to see if I can find, if there's a video for this. I hope so. Because, just what he said was really powerful. He talked about how his story overlapped with so many other people's stories and kind of just his experience in getting to where he was, accepting the call to be a student missionary, feeling that impression and acting on that, and then moving forward through that whole process and to where he is now. A lot of crazy things happened in his life, from getting married to experience the loss of loved ones. And he's here up at Andrews in the seminary now, which is, again, kind of crazy when you look at, as he recounted his experience with God and how it was kind of deconstructed and rebuilt into something else. But the point of it was that heaven meets earth in these certain moments, and it's in those moments where we have an opportunity to have our faith activated. And I loved that concept. The mission experience is one where you get to see heaven meet earth. And I love the way that he put it. It's like almost on a daily basis, you could see God doing amazing things. You could see this connection of heaven meeting earth. And when you see those things, it's almost like, well, what's your reaction? Do we take it for granted? Do we realize what's happening and kind of give credit to God for those moments? Or, do we remain kind of ignorant and it is what it is? But those are moments that we all experience in different ways. Many of us may or may not realize them, but the hope is that we would and take advantage of that, because heaven meeting earth, just that concept, is something that's really awesome to experience and to be aware of. And when you see it, it's something that should make a huge impact on your experience. So it's it's not something that you want to miss out on, put it that way. I don't want to share too much of his story. It's his to share. But I will say it was awesome seeing so many people in the house for the Friday Vespers. It starts at 7:30 on Fridays typically, and I think at 7:26 it seemed like about 30 people were in there. But within a few minutes, as the program started going on, there were definitely, I would say, between 500 to 700 people in there minimum. And what this meant is that the subsequent Missions Afterglow, the missions event, would have potential to have a lot of people there. Really cool idea. They had a ramen bar, that was the draw for the event. Where there's food, there's going to be people. So we had this long line going out, and they were able to come in, choose their different kind of ramen, get their toppings or whatever, tables, and chill with different tables, advertising and showing, telling stories about other missions opportunities that are out there. And the place was packed, I would say, at least for an hour and a half after the Vespers. There was a ton of people there engaging, talking about different things. And you saw a lot of people, because there's so many people in the space, it's like less awkward to go over to that table and talk about missions or see what it's really about, and maybe sign up for themselves. So it was really cool in that regard. But the other side of it was, usually on Thursday nights we have our Compass meeting for return SMs. But for this week, we actually canceled that one and made it a part of this one. So we had a bunch of the return SMs coming out, not only to fellowship with each other, amongst each other, but also to support this event. So to see the number of missionaries that were out there was incredible. I loved it, especially from Palau. Now, I would say that easily there were more than 10, more than 10 former missionaries just from Palau alone. There were a lot of other missionaries that were there sharing in the experience as well. But Palau was strongly represented, and it was really cool to see that. I should have taken a picture. There were about 10 of them in a circle, just standing and talking. We had another missionary, Hannah, who had been in Palau. She's in Ponape now, but she's back here for a little bit. She was with them. They were all catching up. And it's like, you get to see generations and generations of people who have carried on the mission work together, and just the connection. It's so cool to see. Excuse me. It's so cool to see the connection that they have, even though they didn't serve together, but there's something about serving in the same place, whether you serve together physically there or not, that you feel connected, and there's like this common bond. And I feel like the reason that this is so important is because when you think of Christianity, spirituality, and what it's supposed to be, right? That bond, that common, that feeling of a common goal, and people moving in the same direction, whether you're in the same place or not at the same time. I don't know if that's something that we feel so much throughout Christianity, where you go to a different Adventist or Christian church and you're accepted as if you're a part of the mission the same way that they are, you know? You go into a church and it might be filled with people who look different than you and act different than you and worship different than you, and you feel like an outsider. You might go into a church where you're treated like an outsider, and it's like, wait a second, what are we really about here? Are we on the same page or not? But when it comes to mission work, and when it comes to the mission mentality, just to see the difference of people that were in that circle, in that group, who had all served and had this common goal of saying, this is something we're going to do. It was awesome. Literally people, I would say, from just about every continent were represented in that group. Multiple countries within every continent in that group. And that's, to me, how it should be. This joint mission, this common identity says that because you showed up and because you're a part of this, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your background. Because we're all aligned with this, we're all on the same page. Now, imagine what a movement could be like if the majority of its people experienced that. Imagine what a school could be like if the majority of their students took part in a missions program. Oh man, that thing would be moving. It'd be moving. But that connection is so vital, and this is why Missions Emphasis Week is so important. That's why stories like Josh's are so impactful. People get to see, it's not just your story over there completely separate from the other person's story over there. They're connected, they're overlapped, and we, like these moments that we have in connecting with others are not by accident. They're not by chance. And we cannot afford to take it for granted, these moments when heaven meets earth. That's what that was in the talk at Vespers. That's what that was when I looked at the group of common missionaries in one location across a span of more than 10 years, fellowshipping there. That's what it was when I saw the hundreds of people there in the room eating ramen and looking over in curiosity at these tables with mission opportunities. That's what it was. It was heaven meeting earth. Can't take those opportunities for granted. I'm looking forward to see how it progresses. And I just hope that there are more opportunities within campus to share, because this is how you promote the mission mentality and this this common goal that we're supposed to have showing up here as Christians, as Adventists, as missionaries, as representatives of Christ. And it was a beautiful thing to see for just a few moments last night. And I definitely hope to see a lot more of it in the future. But yeah, Missions Emphasis Week, dope. We need more. And this is the season where we're starting to gather interest and really start ramping up with the recruitment efforts to see how we can help serve the different places out there who need the help. So, if you happen to be watching this, look for your opportunities too. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I mean, mission opportunity is everywhere, not just through the schools. So, really cool, and glad to have been there to participate and just to be a part and just be there. It was great. But yeah, anyways, I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, peace.